Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari approves 24.4 billion for a smart irrigation scheme. Supreme Court dismisses Abacha family's bid to stop fresh probe. Plus, 30 tornadoes hit several states in Alabama, leaving at least 6 people dead. We will bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. First in the news this afternoon is a report that the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of the National Agency for Science and Engineering and Infrastructure, NASENI, Mohammed Haruna, has said President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 24.4 billion Agricultural Machinery and Equipment Development Institute in Obudu, Cross River State. Haruna said the nation is already trying to promote the multi-crop season farming program as part of an all-year-round bumper harvest plan. He noted that the federal government has decided to establish 6 agricultural machinery and equipment development institutes in each of the nation's geopolitical zones. He said the institute would teach farmers mechanized farming. During Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC has shown failure of power distribution companies in remitting a total of 128.3 billion naira to Nigeria's electricity market between January and June 2022. Figures obtained from the 2022 report of the federal government's power sector regulator also indicated that power firms did not remit 58.32 billion naira in the second quarter of last year. Reports say DISCOs also failed to remit 69.94 billion naira to the country's electricity market during the review period. The power sector regulator further said the power firms did not make outstanding remittances to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading (NBET) system and the market operator, an arm of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Day Fashola has revealed that the problem of insufficient funds and the increasing price of construction materials are the only issues delaying the completion of a Lagos-Ibadan expressway. This came as he blamed the previous administration for neglecting critical infrastructure. Fashola made the revelation in an interview in Lagos, where he said crash barriers returned to the sides because of the volume of vehicles plying the road, as he pleaded for patience and cooperation with the contractors. He added that the large mile of the project would be completed in the first quarter of 2023. To judicial matters now, where the Supreme Court of Nigeria today in Abuja dismissed the bid by members of the families against the ex-head of state. Reports say the fresh government move to reopen the fraud probe is targeted at some family members over their alleged complicity in looting the nation's treasury during Abacha's administration. In his judgment, Justice Emmanuel Ajim of the Supreme Court dismissed the suit brought before the Apex Court for want of merit and substance. The Supreme Court upheld the judgments of both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal, which had earlier endorsed the power of the federal government to reopen criminal for future proceedings against the family. Still in judiciary, a federal high court in Abuja today dismissed the People's Democratic Party (PDP) suits seeking the disqualification of Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of All Progressives Congress (APC), and his vice Kasim Shettima for the 2023 general elections. Delivering judgment, Justice Yang dismissed the suit on the ground that the PDP lacked local standing to institute the suit. Justice Akor, who held that the case was cut by the principle of issue estoppel, described the suit as an abuse of court processes. On security, the Defense Headquarters has said its troops operating in the northwest has rescued at least 115 civilians held hostage in various states of the region. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Musa Damadami, disclosed this during the bi-weekly updates on armed forces of Nigerian operations between December 2022 and January 12, 2023. He also said operating troops neutralized 25 terrorists and arrested 21 terrorist logistics suppliers. In another development, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has said that 52 ministries, departments and agencies of government have declined to respond to the Ethics and Integrity Compliance Scorecard deployed in 2022 by ICPC and were hence classified as high corruption risk. The ICPC, in its official Twitter page, ICPC Nigeria, stressed that the listed MDAs have been flagged for the attention of the public and for further inquiries and actions. A breakdown of the report shows that 52 agencies scored 0 in the ranking, which means they did not respond to inquiries on them. On PVCs to January 2023, Sunday 29 January 2023. The electoral umpire earlier fixed Sunday 22nd January 2023 as the collection deadline, but following a meeting, INEC said it has pushed the deadline by days. In politics, a member of the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees, Alphonsus Umosu, has resigned from the party. He cited the party's failure to respect its power rotation and zoning principle as the reason for his action. Contained in his letter of resignation cited by Newsman today, the letter dated January 12, 2023, was addressed to the national chairman of the party, Iochia Ayu, and the acting chairman of the BOT, Adolphus, inaugurating the Afiu-Kontege Bridge on Etebienwang Road on the 16th of January. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Inyememabong, the event is scheduled to hold by noon. The Commissioner, who assured that the administration of Governor Domimano is committed to ensuring the completion of all ongoing critical projects in the state, called on all stakeholders in Akwa Ibom, including women and youth organizations, to be part of the historic occasion. We'll move now to Africa, where the French and German foreign ministers Catherine Colonna and Annalena Baerbock have visited a distribution center in Adama outside the Addis area of Ethiopia, containing recently shipped grain from the war-torn region. This is according to a diplomatic source from the European Union. The site holds 50,000 tons of wheat. During their visit, the ministers held the success of implementing an Ethiopian peace agreement signed last year to end years of the lingering war. Their trip began a day after Tigrayan rebels announced that they were starting to hand in their heavy weapons, a key component of the November 2nd deal to silence the guns in the northern region of the country, of 6 million people. Meanwhile, the United States have announced the offering of a reward of $10 million as compensation in response to a bloody hotel attack which took place in Kenya 4 years ago. This is according to the head of Kenya's Directorate of Criminal Investigations, Amin Ibrahim, who described the suspect, Mohammed Aden, as the terror mastermind behind the carnage. Amin further said Aden has been a leader of a Somalia-based Al-Shabaab jihadist group that had carried out several deadly attacks in Kenya. The Al Qaeda affiliated group has claimed responsibility for the January 15, 2019 siege on a hotel compound in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, that lasted almost 20 hours. On a foreign scene, Japanese prosecutors said they have indicted a man suspected of murdering former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe last year in a fatal shooting. Prosecutors from the Japanese District Court in Nara said Tetsuya Yamagami has been indicted on murder and firearms charges after Abe was shot dead on July 8, 2022, while giving a campaign speech on a street in the city. Yamagami has been undergoing psychiatric evaluation in Nara since his arrest last year to determine whether he is mentally fit to stand trial. Recall that Abe's assassination in broad daylight shocked board leaders who offered their condolences, while thousands still on the foreign scene. Severe storms have swept across the southern region of Alabama with ferocious winds that have sent residents running for cover. At least 6 people have been killed. According to reports from the United States Storm Prediction Center, SPC, damaged power lines, severed tree limbs, while debris littered streets in Alabama, Georgia, and Kentucky, where at least 34 preliminary tornadoes were recorded. 6 people have reportedly died in the hot-hit Autauga County in central Alabama, where search efforts are still in motion. Still to come in the news, UK jury clears Benjamin Mendy of 6 counts of rape. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. Of old Naira notes or its deposition at banks, CBN on its verified page reminded Nigerians that old notes of 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira would cease to be legal tenders by January 31st this year. Recall that the CBN launched the redesigned notes of the categories on November 23, 2022 by President Muhammadu Buhari and began circulation from December 15, 2022. Meanwhile, the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Sri Balasubramanian, has disclosed that over 135 Indian companies have invested 19 billion naira in Nigeria in the last 4 decades of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Balasubramanian, who made the disclosure during a courtesy visit in Lagos, expressed his thrill at the India-Nigeria mutual bilateral cooperation. The High Commissioner noted that India and Nigeria have enjoyed healthy business relationships. His visit has been geared towards consolidating economic ties while deepening cultural progress. Expert Dr. Omolara Adelowo has advised women across the country to shun alcohol consumption and all forms of smoking. Adelowo, a former head of department at the University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, gave this warning during a health talk on the theme Cancer in Women, Common Times and Early Detection Strategies. She said alcohol consumption, smoking and radiation have been identified as major causes of alcohol consumption, smoking and high radiation. Still in health, mental health experts have cautioned Nigerians against exposing infants. Speaking in an interview, consultant psychiatrist and former chief medical director, Lagos State University's chemical and psychological consequences on them, considering the fragile state of the testicular cancer and respiratory. In the UK today cleared Manchester City and France footballer Benjamin Mendy of 6 counts to reach verdict on a 7th charge of rape and 1 of attempted rape counts involving 6 women. Covered his face with both hands, gently rocking back and forth as the verdicts were delivered. In the English Premier League this season, ahead of this weekend's fixtures, Parker said the Red Devils can calmly losing their first two matches to Brentford and Brighton. But Erik ten Hag's men have shown significant improvement in their recent games and are now sitting in entertainment news. Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson-Okogie has opened up about a cancer scare that met her in her cooking show, Mercy's Menu. The actress also revealed that she had surgery where her thyroid gland in her throat managed the situation at that time. Still Nigerians on the 2023 general elections. Was a call on her the voting population to participate in actualizing that dream by voting wisely using their sense and heart. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website. David White. Good afternoon.